Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing.
Oh, hey folks, Dude here, coming yet again. Hopefully this is going to be an iteration of Dude After Dark that actually, well, physically works. This has been like the most ridiculous workaround I think I pretty much have ever done. First, the home computer doesn't want to do it because it won't go online for some reason. The laptop I tried with external cam, internal cam, and all manner of cameras, and it just said, no, not doing it. No, it just doesn't want to. Thanks, sound guy. No, it does not want to. Sound guy. Sound guy. Okay, not even 30 seconds in, and already he's throwing the Kamala sound effects. Let me see if I can't figure out something else here real quick. Me try to make it so I can actually look at the laptop and see, hopefully, that which is currently ongoing, so I can see like chat room. And yes, I can actually see myself, so it is actually transmitting. Hopefully, I'm kind of doing that back and forth thing now. So I'm looking at you guys using the alternate smartphone. Yeah, the reflection. Alternate smartphone. See, alternate smartphone. Yeah, my reflection thing. Anyway, so alternate smartphone. Doing that. I don't know if, that's kind of the messed up thing too, is smartphones really aren't truly designed to be used for streaming. Oh yeah, the little comments pop up on the bottom of the screen. How cute! You guys can actually like see the comment on the bottom of the screen there. So Patriot Fever, yeah. So now I'm gonna be probably scanning back and forth. So good stuff like that there. Patriot Fever, little Patriot Fever forward station. JFK files at the ready. Oh man. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but SpaceX Crew 9 is now back because, well, supposedly Joe Kaka decided that he wanted to give Elon Musk a looking good and obviously didn't want Donald Trump to have something kind of cool to go, see, our guys are now back. So it came out to be that, well, it took Trump signing off and Elon Musk to sign off with SpaceX and take off to get up there and do one of the Dragon things and pick them up. And Joe Kaka right now is probably looking at the TV and maybe it's a little bit more than that. He's probably just he's probably stomping around. Yeah, well, anyway, looking at things as it is, let's see if I can't drag that off. Does that actually? No, that doesn't do that. Okay, I don't want to kill the feed. No. Joe is looking at Gilligan's Island, saying this ain't Jeopardy. Okay, sure. Anyway, so Joe Kaka, looking at the TV right now is probably going.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Yeah, he definitely bleeped up. So anyway, let me get over here and cheat the laptop. I'm actually going to have to probably cheat the laptop to look at, like, what I normally do is I'll put stories in queue in my Facebook page and the most extreme elimination challenge. No, I think that's when Joe is looking at the toilet paper going, what am I supposed to do with this again? Yeah, that is the most extreme elimination challenge. Joe Kaka gets done dropping a deuce and he's looking at the toilet paper going, what are you supposed to do? I'm challenged. Yeah, he's definitely challenged. Anyway, so I'm going to be looking at my laptop for stuff I have in queue in Facebook, and I am 2 weeks in arrears. So I really, really, really want to apologize about that one. hopefully things aren't looking too completely wrecked up. I am cheating this with a smartphone, and obviously the field of view is really small because I'm running it as potato. I'm not going to run it, landscape, mostly because it's too weird. So hopefully things are working out in that regard, and I have scads, and I mean absolutely scads of news stories. So I'm completely overwhelmed. Obviously, you guys know I was out of town. Let's just start with that, okay? Let's just start with that, okay? So anyway, I really truly wish I could use the Didney unapproved music for like Under the Sea or something. That would have been absolutely perfect. But unfortunately, you can't quite use that type of music because it's too trademarked, and those guys will say you cannot use Disney approved music. Yeah, and if you do use it, it's gonna be
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Sound guy's been saving up for the last couple weeks. Excuse me. I got Tigger juice here. It's looking at me. It's hot. I just made it. The cup is full. You know what that means. I'm gonna have to imbibe. Just give me 1 second here. Hot Tiggy juice. Still is like steam rolling off. Anyway, so if you guys didn't know it, I actually did a 7-day cruise. Now, unusually enough, Mrs. Dude and I usually leave for cruises. We've done 2 cruises out of Baltimore's cruise terminal, and we've done 2 cruises out of Florida's cruise terminals. We've used Port Canaveral, so obviously right beside Kennedy, 5 miles away, and we've used Fort Lauderdale, so further south. Haven't done Tampa, haven't done Miami. 2 cruises out of Baltimore, Baltimore's cruise terminal, and this time we decided, we're looking for a cruise. And we'd kind of been bouncing it off each other for a while. It's like, hey, I really want to get back on the boat. I really want to take a cruise, this, that, and the other thing. We like taking cruises. It's just a lot of fun for us. So anyway, we're members of BJ's, the big box club. And so looking at things in that regard, they send you travel stuff. Hey, take a cruise, blah, 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 get the price break, this, that, and the other thing. And the prices right now are harsh. And that's putting it mildly. The prices right now for cruising is harsh. The previous 2 cruises, let me grab them up real fast here. I can actually show you guys. It's okay. Here we go. The previous 2 cruises I took were on Royal Caribbean. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that. So, yeah, Royal Caribbean. So basically that one is the Oasis of the Seas, which is the parent ship of the class of the big boats that were just their biggest boats before they came out with the new class called Icon. So that one was Oasis of the Seas, very, very first ship. And in that class, the first ship that is in that class, and it has its namesake, becomes the class name of the vessels. So the Oasis class of cruise ships. I've been on the Oasis, and I've been on the Allure. So the Oasis of the Seas, the Allure of the Seas, both those cruise ships have been Royal Caribbean. This time around, like I said, Mrs. Dude and I were kind of kicking around, and financially, it has gotten really, and I do mean absolutely painful in some regards, that you're trying to book something on Royal Caribbean, and they know that you're probably going to go inside cabin. Sucks. It's a box. You got no windows. You basically go in there to take a sleep, take a crap, take a shower, and you really don't stay in the cabin. You pretty much go to the cabin merely only to do a couple things, and you get back out to do the various things that you need to do. And, of course, in that regard, you don't want an inside cabin, mostly because there's nothing going on in there. It's a box with beds. Just give me 1 second here. So, almost always, we're going to book a balcony cabin. So, literally, it is a balcony. You basically got, skinny-ass room. You got usually what they refer to as the ensuite, or, the head. Basically, you go in there, you have a little enclosure. It's your crapper, it's your sink, it's your shower / bathtub. In this regard, we actually did have a bathtub with a shower on this current cruise. I'll get into that in 1 second here. So basically, you get in the room, you have the crapper, all the rest of that fun stuff there. You go around the corner, there is a small closet, not very deep, and it's roughly about as wide as the crapper. Beyond that, you have a fold-out couch that becomes a bed. Beyond that, you have your bed. So beyond that, you also then, if you look straight across, there is your balcony door leading out to your balcony area, which is obviously you open the door, you go outside, do your whatever. Across from the bed and across from that fold-out couch is basically like a desktop. Underneath that is a mini fridge, and usually along that line of stuff, you have plugs. Well, this is not our first cruise. As a matter of fact, this is Mrs. Dude's 6th cruise and my 5th cruise. So we know a few things. You want to have a fan, like, one of those little desktop USB fans. You want one of those because there is zero air movement in the cabin. As a matter of fact, every time that you go out, the AC turns off. The room ventilation turns off. So there's the other thing that you got to know about cruise ships is, well, they're an enclosed environment and smells propagate. So you come back in your room and it basically smells like sewer gas because it's popped up out of all the drains and you haven't had fresh air to flush that smell out. So it was kind of also humorous in the regard of the Royal Caribbean boats is they know when you're in the room, there's activity and whatnot. They know you're in the room and obviously you've opened the door and let yourself in. Everything works. When you go back out and you lock the door, it knows there's nobody here. Turn all that crap off. So in the MSC boats, which is what we currently took, was an MSC cruise. First time we've ever taken an MSC cruise was mostly just the price point. All the Royal Caribbean cruises right now, they're locked in. They got 85% capacity. They know that you're just going to go, oh, geez, dude, I really want to take a cruise. Well, I'll take a bite in the bag and I'll just do it. Well, I'll put it in perspective. The last cruise that we took, which was on the Allure of the Seas for the Royal Caribbean boat, was like 5, almost 6 years ago. And it was about $800 per person. This time around, they're looking for a balcony cabin, $1,300 per person. So, like I said, BJ sends us these things. We're looking at the cruise stuff, what have you, and we see this cruise pop up, and it's an MSC cruise. It's a 1-week cruise from Sunday to Sunday, leaving out on my birthday of 23rd, going to, 1 week later, 2nd, I think it is, and it was basically a 7-day cruise. So, the thing about it is it wasn't leaving out of Florida. Oh, no. It was leaving out of my old alma mater, New York City. In this regard, leaving out of Red Hook, Brooklyn. So if you look at the scheme of things, how the city's laid out, basically you have the New Jersey shore. As you go up the New Jersey shore, you pass by the Statue of Liberty. You keep on going north, you stay in New Jersey, but you need to cross over the Hudson to get to the New York side of things. So obviously, as you're looking over, you're going north on New Jersey, so the New Jersey Turnpike. You're going north on there. There's the Statue of Liberty. Just to the northeast of that is going to be the tip of Manhattan. To the east of that is going to be Ellis Island, Governor's Island. Then finally, you'll have the shore of Brooklyn on the eastern shore. So the cool thing about it is going out on this cruise ship, I actually did have really good views of looking at Ellis Island, Governor's Island. Literally, from our cabin, I could actually show you kind of a cool picture. So give me 1 second here. And also, I really, really have to ramp down the lighting because I know sometimes the camera phones really, really overwhelm another camera phone. But literally, this was the view from our balcony. Looking right at the French chick. So we were looking like right at the French chick in our balcony cabin because we were on the port side of the ship and we were docked starboard side to the dock. So literally what happens is they basically unhook from the dock, they back out, they turn around, and then they head down. So heading down, you go past Governor's Island because it's the closest island to you. And then as you're going out, you'll pass the Statue of Liberty, drive down past the Jersey Shore, go out underneath the Verrazano Bridge, then finally head out to open ocean and out and away. Now, the Verrazano is a fairly tall bridge, so it's not even an issue. Baltimore, in the other regard there, we are limited because our bridge height is not very, very high. So in that regard, we got to be kind of a little careful with the size of boats that come into Baltimore. Not so much now because the Key Bridge is now fallen, but in the future, that is the major limitation for any size ship that comes into Baltimore is literally the height of the incoming bridges. So we took this cruise, and like I said, it was, an MSC. So this time we're on MSC's boat. Let me see if yes, it does show that. So the MSC Meraviglia. Hopefully that kind of shows. And that literally means a tie-in for Vision. And so this boat truly is a different thing than Royal Caribbean. It's a really different experience. It's very European. The dining isn't quite so, hey, walk around, grab anything you want at any time. It's not really that kind of a boat. It's more a case you're walking around. There's bars pretty much in a couple of places. Some restaurants. Obviously, there's a picture I posted up on Facebook while I was on the cruise. Basically, I got a Guinness. I was in an English pub, the, air quotes, English pub. And comparing it to Royal Caribbean, it is a different experience. The pacing is way slower. There was some really kind of cool stuff. I mean, I'll tell you, that boat has a couple things that are kind of cool, but it's all eye candy. It's nothing that's really improving your cruise that much more. And the price point on it was as such. For Mrs. Dude and I, we were basically looking at $600 per person-ish. Now, the thing about it is New York is unbelievably expensive to operate in. You can talk to anybody that knows the place, and just the shore fees and all that docking stuff was like $550. So basically, we're almost paying for another person just for New York to actually dock the boat, do whatever they needed to do to the boat, and set the boat free. Patron viewers asking in the room, food and beer, how was the food and the beer? Well, it is an Italian/Swiss owned company. Private company, not on the stock market. Excuse me 1 second. So, I can tell you by and large, the food, it was like a step or two down from Royal Caribbean. It was okay. Nothing was like absolutely, this is horrible. I've never eaten this again. It was more just a case of it was really kind of under-seasoned. And the execution on it was kind of just okay. Not great, not bad, just okay. Now, I say Royal Caribbean the last time I took a Royal Caribbean cruise, it was B. B plus, B minus, it was B. This was about C plus, C minus. Now, there's a couple standouts. Obviously, an Italian boat. The pizza on board was decent. And I'm saying this as a New Yorker, okay? I know what a slice is supposed to taste like, man. And it was okay. It wasn't like, sound guy. That was so weak, dude. That is not deserving of a dink. Okay? Oh, shut up. Anyway, so the pizza on board, the cheese, that is usually what kills any kind of pizza trying to nuance New York pizza, is they get the cheese wrong. This one actually had pretty decent cheese. The crust was okay, but it's an Italian boat. If they don't get like a couple things right that are Italian, they're really hosed. The chicken parm literally was like one of the best things on the boat, and that was just like average chicken parm, but it was literally like one of the best things on the boat. They had a braciole that was actually not bad. A braciole is basically like, if you were to think like Italian pot roast, basically it's like thin slices of beef. They roll up, and it's cooked in like a tomato wine gravy. And that was actually not bad. I wouldn't say it was like stand out, oh, it's amazing, but it was a decent braciole. The coffee on board was only okay. The iced tea was absolutely just brown water. And I do mean like the most watered down iced tea you would ever want to drink anywhere. A couple of the little things that are strange. You go up to the bars, you try to get like a drink. All the Royal Caribbean boats literally are set up like bars. The guy pulls up, what's called the Cobra head. So basically it's like, the dispenser with the hose running down it. You basically hit the button to squirt out the soda of your selection. They didn't do that. They had cans. So that was a little strange. So they basically had canned sodas on board, and trying to find like some of the stuff that Mrs. Dude was needing was a little hard because Mrs. Dude is diabetic. So we're trying to look for sugar-free options. We did find Sprite Zero on board, which was really, really unusual. And let me jump over to stops real fast. So leaving out of Brooklyn, we had one or two sea days. Then we stopped for a stop in Port Canaveral. We didn't even bother to get off the boat, okay? There's nothing in Port Canaveral that says, I have to get out and explore this section of Florida. Mostly because I've been to Kennedy Space Center twice. And if I'm going to go to Kennedy, I want to hit Kennedy and I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to go, oh, geez, when's the boat leaving? We got to run. And then you have to do all that happy horse stuff. not doing that. So basically did that. Then we down to their private island. I don't know if I'm still not. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done peeling at this point. But I did get a mild tan out of it, and so that's not so bad. But I did get burned. Mrs. Dude got sunburned. So I think we're both still peeling a little bit in certain areas. The sun down in the Bahamas was pretty intense. The temperature wasn't bad. It was like 80-ish. So the temperature wasn't bad. It's just the sun was pretty intense. We really should have worn suntan lotion, but oh well. And that was literally what's called, their private island is called the Ocean Cay. And it's about 65 miles offshore of Miami. So it's easily accessible for people to come to and from, for servicing the place and whatnot. But it's the private island that is currently being leased from the Bahamas by MSC Cruise Line. And they've done improvements on it. They've got buildings galore on there. I bet it's going to be a timeshare before too terribly long. And they did have kind of cool stuff. Like on board, they had obviously, almost 5 miles of beaches. It's really kind of ridiculous. And obviously, you're on this thing. Do I have it in this? Yeah, here we go. They had a lighthouse that had like LED displays all the way around it. So I don't know if this picture really reflects greatly, but that's the lighthouse, and it literally has like the MSC icon going around it and all kinds of, spotlights flashing around. It was a full-on light show. I think it ran for about like 15 minutes or so. It's kind of cool. It actually was it was broken for a while, so they just fixed the lighthouse. It did light up in different modes. So there's another picture there. It's kind of a little dark, but it did light up in different modes and it had all kinds of light shows. If you look on YouTube, you can find videos. The actual island itself was gorgeous. I mean, that literally was like one of the best stops in the cruise, was going to their island. And Mrs. Dude wants to go back. I mean, literally, she's like literally looking at other cruises right now going, yeah, I want to get back on the boat again. It's like, it's only been a couple of weeks, dear. No, I want to go again. So anyway, their island was cool. And then the next stop, and the last stop, obviously, was going to Nassau in the Bahamas. Now, I'm a city guy, okay? Walking around that place, hustle and bustle, 50 bazillion stores down the street. It kind of felt like walking around like some areas in Manhattan or Brooklyn or something. It's familiar territory to me, other than people are basically, speaking, either in patois or they're speaking with very heavy accents. Most of them, though, didn't have a very heavy accent, and it was easy to do. I did get some of their coinage because obviously trying to trade the coins in before you get back on the boat is not easy. But obviously, using American dollars to them was just dead on easy. They took American money, no problem. The very first thing I was looking for, though, was I went in one of the stores and I saw they had a refrigerator there, and they had non-high fructose corn syrup Coke. I grabbed a can of that, cracked it open, took a sip, and was like, oh, yeah. That is exactly what I remember from my youth. Handed it off to Mrs. Dude. She took a swig and was like, yep, that's the way it's supposed to taste. So, if you guys ever get out of CONUS, like the continental United States, you go to some island nation or another country, drink the soda, because you're going to get soda with sugar in it, not the crap that we use currently until Bobby Kennedy fixes stuff. Page for people who've never been on a cruise. There's a couple little nuances you have to remember. You're on a boat, so if you do have a rough day, you're going to get bobbled around a bit. On the really, really big boats, though, they don't move around a whole hell of a lot. This one, it moved around some, and it was mostly a case of where you were at any particular time on the boat. Now, the buffet area is on the back of the boat. Now, on this boat, it's actually engineered in such a way, it's got what they call avipods. And literally, it's like, if you look at the nacelle with a propeller on it of a plane, it's kind of like that. Except it's got a shaft running down it, and it can turn 360 and literally move the boat sideways, forwards, all the way around, all different orientations. And those are what they use in place of having two rudders, or three rudders, or multiple rudders and multiple propellers. They use a couple of the avipods, and that's literally what they do to propel and steer the ship. Well, some little nuance of the thing is sometimes you get what's called cavitation, where it's cutting little holes in the water, and it's making like air pockets. So on some parts of the boat, you're feeling like it's buffeting, like you're basically hitting like a bumpy section of road. And that's just how it is in that section of the boat. You go to another section of the boat, you don't feel it nearly as much, if at all. It only happens in certain areas of the boat, in certain times of operation, and at certain speeds. There's like certain ways that the orientation of the boat makes things happen. So the other thing too is also leaving out of Brooklyn. It was also very, very easy for us because we reside in Baltimore. I did one of my brother-in-law's tricks. And literally what he does is he and his wife, Reed, like my sister-in-law, are absolutely bonkers about Didney. And I do mean like Mouse Didney. And they go down there quite a bit. But they reside in Delaware, so one of the tricks they do is they'll come to Maryland and they'll park at a local hotel. And they'll leave their car parked there for extended parking, fly out of BWI, go to Florida, do all their various trips and what have yous, come back, get the car, and then go back home. So that's literally what I did. Mostly because the cruise terminal wanted $45 per day to park in the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal. That's like $300 plus for 8 days of parking. Not doing that. Excuse me 1 second here. Or 7 days of parking. Also, the other thing, Mrs. Dude and I, we never, ever, ever, and I can tell you this, do not ever, 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 ever do this to yourself. Do not ever, ever, ever go plane to boat. Too many things screw up. You forget something. The plane's running late. There's a missed flight. The plane was canceled. All the above. Yeah, I've heard too many horror stories. Obviously, being in the travel industry, kind of doing Uber, I've heard too many horror stories. Don't do that to yourself. So what I found by calling around is I found there was a hotel. Read like on the west side of Newark Airport, so not too terribly far from New York City, not too terribly close to New York City, but still in New Jersey and close enough in proximity that we could get an Uber and take an Uber into the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal, which is exactly what we did. So basically was calling around and talked to one hotel up north, more towards like really close to, in line with Manhattan. And they wanted $22 a day in Hoboken, New Jersey. It's like, nah, I'm not doing that. So I called around some more and I found this one hotel. And they were like, oh, sure, yeah, we'll give you a room with extended parking for $240. And I'm like, okay, $240. Hotels aren't exactly cheap anyway. 8 days of parking plus one hotel room for an overnight. That's a deal. That's a deal. So that's literally what we jumped on. Got up there, drove up there, got into the hotel, basically crashed out, woke up, left the car, obviously, at the hotel parking, got all our luggage, got into the Uber, then went to get onto the cruise ship. Now, the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal actually is not so bad getting in and out of. We did have issues getting in and out of the boat because one of the down gangplanks was broken, so they ran everybody, 4,300 passengers, out one side-by-side doorway. Mrs. Dude and I basically walked around that boat for about 2.5 hours, toting our luggage, because we decided simply just to go, you know what, we'll just bring our own bags. It'll be faster that way. There's two ways you can do it. You can put a luggage tag on, you leave your bags out the night before, they take your bags, put it in a cart, take it out to the dock area, hand it off to you when you get off the boat, or you can do it with your own stuff. Now, the thing about it is we thought it'd be really quick and easy. No, we literally walked around that boat for 2.5 hours going, this sucks. So Mrs. Dude was like, you know what? Next time we take a cruise, I'm going to give them my bags. I'm going to sit in the buffet area until they throw me off the boat. Take that for, good advice. See 1 second here. And then getting in and out of the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal, it was busy. It was chaotic. But so we're thinking of ordering an Uber, and I see there's a lot of cabs right there. So I basically pulled up my app, basically beep, boop, beep, boop. How much is the ride going to cost back to the hotel? $112 because obviously it's a surge because everybody's coming off the boat at once, 4,300 people. And I was like, it is cold. I mean, we went from like 80 plus degrees in the Bahamas to like 26, 27 degrees in New York City with a driving wind. It was cold. And so Mrs. Dude's like, you know what? I really don't feel like waiting around for an Uber. And I was like, you know what? Let me talk to the guy in the cab. So I walked over to him and was like, hey, man, what's up? And he's like, yeah, what do you need? It's like, yeah, I'm trying to get back to like, basically the backside of Newark Airport. And the guy goes, well, how much does Uber want? It's like, yeah, they said 112. He goes, tell you what, you throw me 120 with a $20 tip, I'll take you back. And it's like, Sure, and I'm thinking logically, okay? This guy's like, it's $120, does a flat rate for the ride, but he's now operating outside of New York City, and he's now operating in New Jersey. The chance of him getting another ride that takes him back there is maybe not so good. Plus, he has to defray the costs of all the tolls. So that's literally what I was doing for him. Was I was taking care of his tolls and his time to get back to the city. I know how that works. That's what we call in the business a deadhead run. That's literally where you go someplace, you drop off your payload, and you're coming back empty. Or you're coming up empty to pick up your payload and head back loaded. Either one way or the other, you're empty and you're not getting paid. So I know the way it works in the realm of things, and I was not afraid to chuck him another $20. So anyway, looking at all that good stuff like that there, that's how that worked in that regard. It is different than Royal Caribbean, and we have learned some stuff. Obviously, we're going to bring along some seasoning. I did not have nearly enough garlic on my food for my tastes. Mrs. Dude was like, you know what? I really was dying for a shaker of Old Bay. And that's truly one of those Baltimore things, folks. You know, you basically get on your restaurant area type things, and you sit down, and if there's not 3 shakers on the table of salt, pepper, and Old Bay, you're going to hear about it. Trust me in that regard. So let me go over here to the news real quick. Basically, I've done a whole bunch of talking about the cruise, and I can tell you for a fact it was interesting, and I would say, truthfully, you guys definitely can find it more than a little bit. Sound guy. It was not Snoo Snoo. It was not Snoo Snoo, okay?
You're in the jailhouse now.
Stop with the Snoo Snoo. Anyway, so going out on an MSC cruise, it is different than a Royal Caribbean cruise. All the cruise ships really kind of have personalities to them. I got a little bit too used to one being a certain kind of way, but it's been a while since we've taken one of those cruises. Of course, post-COVID, they say things are different. I've heard some people saying, like, the services aren't nearly as good, or the food quality's dropped quite a bit on all the cruise lines. So, take that for what it's worth. Your mileage may vary. Who knows? Nobody else has done anything else in the room. Okay, well, that's fine. If you guys put something in the chat room, that's cool. If not, I am perfectly fine with simply just rattling away here for a while. So scrolly. This is really strange because I'm working like too many devices at once here. So I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but supposedly the auto pen from Joe Kaka. Yes, Joe Kaka may have been having people signing stuff in his namesake when he was not there. So he may have been just... Okay, anyway, so if the auto pen may have been in place and other people have been using it and not the president, those are invalidated actions, executive orders, and pardons. So much so that Trump has actually said, whoa. Let's find out who's who, what's what, and who did what at what time to keep it exactly correct. And all the stuff and good stuff like that there. And keep it really on the straight and narrow. Scrolly. I don't think I've heard about this one or not, but supposedly, somebody in the federal judge type of realm was like, hey, you can't terminate government credit cards. So the Doge, Trump, and Elon Musk said, fine, $1 limit on government credit cards. Functionally, they're useless. Have you guys heard about this one or not? But supposedly this one is being very, very interesting. Baby voice, obnoxious, just bubblehead bubblehead. Excuse me a second here. So there was an illegal alien with 23 years in this country, and AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, put them on staff. An illegal alien. That breaches all kinds of security protocols. That breaches all manner of don't do it. and she did. So basically, put the guy on with zero paperwork as a pure lawbreaker as her chief of staff. Now, that puts in the realm of him seeing stuff, doing stuff, and being around stuff that he never, ever should have purview to do as an illegal alien. Ever. Security clearances alone, wow. So anyway, she violated USC Code 81324A, the federal law banning this. But she knew, she hired him anyway, and now faces a hefty cost of $3,200 to $16,000 in fines, maybe $3,000 more, plus another, 6 months in the clink. And Congress can't stop this. This is outside their purview. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but supposedly that little conversation that was going on between Zelensky, Trump, and Vance. Well, I don't think you guys caught this or not, but supposedly, Zelensky was like muttering under his breath. He's like, yeah, bliad. He called Vance bliad. Well, if you know what bliad means, it means bitch. So basically, he was like, you bliad, you little bitch. And said, stuff that probably you shouldn't be talking about in conversation with the president and the vice president, and you're being just a little bit of a douche nozzle. And truthfully, he didn't make any good friends with that one. Trust me on that one. That was just not cool. Not cool. Anyway, that was just not just.
I say we take off and nuke the entire bitch from orbit.
Yeah, thanks, sound guy. Didn't knock the entire bitch from orbit. Anyway, stop, sound guy, stop. I'm gonna fix this. Yeah, don't play with me, sound guy. I got good sound effects too. Anyway, so yeah, basically just Zelensky's being a little douche nozzle. People are just tired of it. I will not ever be a member, ever, did I say ever again, of the NRA, the National Rifle Association. Supposedly, they are so desperate right now to get men, women, and anybody to sign up and say, yeah, I'm willing to put my butt, on the list of people that say, I'm a member, that they said, they're giving a 60% discount off the life membership of $1,500. Dude, I wouldn't give you $5 for a membership, okay? Not including, the fact that really Wayne LaPierre so besmirched the reputation of these guys. I don't want anything to do with them. The only groups that I really truly have, excuse me, truly have anything to do with is the Gun Owners of America, or the GOA, or the NRGA, the National Association of Gun Rights, or the JPFO, or the Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership. Those groups are the guys I will side with. The NRA, I don't care if you say, well, you do safety training and police enforcement and all that. I don't care. Law enforcement training, I'm not into you, okay? The time when I was a member, constantly I was getting, hey, send us some money for our legal blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? No, leave me alone. Hey, can you send us some money? And I did the mistake I made was I sent them some money a couple times. And I'm not talking like huge scads of cash, but I sent them some money in support of the law enforcement thing, for like court cases and whatnot. Then they wouldn't leave me the hell alone. Then I said, you know what, self? This is getting really, 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 really blanking old. And it needs to go the way of the dodo. So I said, self. That's a good trick. Self. Yeah, I said it without saying it. Anyway, so the whole thing about these suckers Take that for what it's worth. Cork suckers. I am not basically going to send you any more money. Deal with it. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to that regard, okay?
Saracana.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to that regard, okay? Stop. Scrolly. This one, I don't know if it's still on sale or not, but I had to jump on it, and it was just one of those things I could not ignore. Supposedly, every once in a while, they have these, just amazing sales pop up. And Monstrum, of all guys, basically they have the stuff made overseas, and they assemble the scopes here, have a lifetime warranty, and the construction on them looks not so terrible bad. Well, the kicker was, it's about a $200 scope normally, and it is an LVPO, or low variable power optic. So literally this one right here. And I'll do a video right up on it and show you who's who and what's what. But this one is the Panzer 1 to 10. So basically it's one of these guys has the skinny 30 millimeter tube. So it's a 28 millimeter exit pupil, or 28 millimeter, big other end other than your eye. Objective IP. Okay, 28 millimeter objective. I can't talk today. And so the scheme of things is this is roughly about a $200 scope. Well, the thing about it is if you have the code, you would get $100 off with the shipping and everything else and all the rest of that fun stuff. And basically what it is I got into this. They didn't even charge me tax. So bought this for $149, shipping, no tax, less than normal pricing. I think it's normally like a $250 scope. Okay, that's what it is. It's a $250 scope. I got it for $150. Shipping, no tax, all taken care of. So basically it was $149, 95, 96, whatever it was. And I'll be doing some write-ups on it and, testing and all good stuff like that there. But the kicker is I went into the box, and they didn't say this in the ad. It actually has a mount. So scope, batteries, mount, and all kinds of other little spiffy tools and what have you is to, do the mounting and, fun stuff like that there. So that one, I don't know if the code is still good or not, but it is currently in my Facebook. So let me see if I can't cheat it real fast and grab the link and throw it at you guys, see if it still works. I think you actually have to put it in the cart to actually realize the price break. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can't make this work. Try that. Okay. And I'm going to throw it into the room so you guys have the link to look at least. But it's a $200 scope, beforehand. And the code is AmmoLand25 when you put it into the cart. So let me see if it still works. Okay, that would be very interesting in that regard. So add the cart, select, and I got the Morpheus mill. So it's a CM2 MOA mill or a Morpheus mill. I got the Morpheus. I just liked it better. So let me scroll off on that one. Add to cart. Proceed to checkout. Let's see here. See if that still works. Apply. Yeah, it doesn't have that code any longer. But it's still about a $200 scope, and it seems decent. There's a guy on YouTube that I've been following for a while, and he's done testing on it, and he's like, you know what? This thing actually compares very favorably to like the $2,000 like excessively expensive Vortex scope. Just give me 1 second here. Yeah, of course the Vortex has got a better glass, but it's a $2,000 scope. And trying to find a low power variable that is something other than 1 to 4, 1 to 6 is kind of hard. So finding scope that is 1 to 10 is actually kind of interesting. And the thing about it is I was messing with this the other day, and obviously it does have a light up reticle. So basically it is the circle with the dot. Now, here's the crazy thing. When you zoom it in, it is first field perspective. So basically the crosshairs get bigger as you zoom it in and shows you more detail. Obviously the Christmas tree shows more detail. You can do more of the ranging stuff with it. However, that dot with the circle surrounding it in the center, when I zoomed it in, it went rip and literally just like expanded outside the field of view of the eyepiece until you were looking at the Christmas tree with the cross in the middle lit up. Zooming it back out, I think they actually listen to like market opinions or something, because the brightness on that reticle when it's lit up is really freaking bright. And I do mean like really bright, like way too bright at night on some of the settings. Like you drop it down to like, like 1 or 2, and that's almost like too bright. So in the daytime, I still have yet to test it in daytime. I've actually literally taken it out of the box once, kind of fiddled it a little bit. It's like, okay, I know this, that, and everything. Okay. The other thing too is also, it's kind of cool in regard is the actual variable power ring. You have either a pin or a shark fin. The shark fin, if you look it up online, you'll see what I mean. Basically, it's just like a piece of plastic that comes out and zooms down at an angle at the front. So literally you have this big piece of polymer to swing it with, or you can put the pin in there and go stuff like that there. Picture Fever, yes, it is definitely a DMR style scope. However, because it cranks up to 10 power, if somebody's calling shots, you actually could reach pretty damn far out there. You got to remember, too, the guys that were sniping back in World War II, they had under 4 power scopes, and they were still deadly. And they did a very, very good job with that type of stuff. So check it out at your leisure for even $2, even $200 to get a low power variable optic 1 to 10, $200 range with a lifetime warranty. That's not exactly easy to do. So check it out on that Monstrum type stuff. It's getting pretty good regards, pretty good reviews. The ones that are really racked up, they send back to get one that's fixed. It's like anything else. Sometimes stuff goes wrong. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys heard about this guy, but a transgender guy has been arrested for firebombing a Tesla storefront in Colorado. The guy goes by Lucy Grace Nelson. Dude, I gotta tell you, man, you're one ugly AF female. It's not flying. I'm sorry. It's not working. Scrolly. This one cracked me up. Chuck Schumer is now caving after putting up the valiant fight for the CR. Now, the dirty little secret about that is essentially when Biden had that CR, it was perfectly fine. That same CR, or continuing resolution for the budget right now for the federal government, is the exact same continuing resolution, except it's under Trump's administration. All of a sudden, Chuck Schumer is just like, ow, I don't like it now. It's bad juju. Here, let me just scrape this. Let me just scrape this out and fix it because it's just bad. Sound guy, what are you doing? I don't even want to know how he got that sound effect. I do not want to know. Here we go with the meep meeps. Anyway, so yeah, that's getting very, very interesting now. And I think what it is he was seeing the writing on the wall where everybody's like, dude, stop. Just stop, please. That execution that you're doing now is going to be your own self-execution because we really, truly just want a friggin' budget and for this thing to keep on going. Hope that's actual wood he's sawing. Oh, no. Oh, Patriot Fever. I don't think I want to know what he was doing there because he could have been just a...
You rooster vacuum.
Okay, rooster vacuum. Anyway, so sound guy being sound guy. Oh, sound guy, stop. Anyway, so that got very, very interesting very, very quickly. And I think what it is you saw the writing on the wall. Right now, the Democrat Party has an approval rating of 29%. 29%. They haven't had that low a number in like 30 years. But 29% approval rating. I think they saw the writing on the wall. We're like, oh, snap, no, we can't afford to do this one. Let's just be nice and let's just do the continuing resolution. It was so pronounced that even 10 Democrats were joined up with him going, yeah, let's just do this before it blows up in our faces. So it's now a continuing resolution, and the government's going to be working until, I think, September or December or something. But I think what it is interesting, though, is that, Trump was saying, along with Elon, it's like, we got to have a starting point. If we basically have this falderall where they're just throwing things out everywhere, that doesn't tell us anything. We need to have a starting point where we know a baseline. And that's really exactly what they're going for. At least this gives them some point of, okay, this is where we came from, this is where we're going. It's not the best thing in all the world, but at least it's something. I hope that Trump does cowboy up on this one. This one is interesting, and it looks like the Fifth Circuit Court might actually give Trump the reason to knock down the 1934 Gun Control Act of suppressors. And finally, we can maybe get a suppressor without having to do the $200 tax stamp. Treat it the same way as buying a gun. Quick, easy background check and go, okay, this guy's not a complete total dirtbag. Give him the quiet piece. Mostly because it's actually an exercise in protecting your hearing. If you put a muffler on a car, it's less obnoxious to be around. If you put a suppressor on a firearm, it's way easier on your ears. You're not needing to put all kinds of ear protection in because you're already lowering the baseline volume. And anytime you drop that down, you're protecting your hearing. Nobody's going to complain, especially when you start talking like 22s. A 22 with standard ammunition, you may as well be shooting a BB gun, man. That thing is just quiet. You could shoot that thing literally in your backyard, and it's going to sound like somebody running like, an air gun or nail gun. It's not going to be oppressive. You're not going to be really disturbing your neighbors that much. And as long as you're shooting safely, who cares? Let's see. Scrolly. Hopefully things work out between Ukraine and Russia and Trump. Ukraine's not real happy right now because it's Trump and Putin talking to one another, and they're like, "Look, little guy, just be quiet, okay? You're getting on our nerves. Zelensky, just be quiet. Men are talking here, okay? We will settle this." So it looks like there might be a partial truce ceasefire going through in some realm, and that's all good because I found it very interesting where they're like, Trump is just trying to this, that, and the other thing. It's like Trump is like, look, I want these guys to stop dying, all right? I want the fighting to stop. And he said that on numerous occasions. It's not like he's saying, I'm picking sides, I like the Russians better than the Ukrainians, or I like the Ukrainians less. He's literally saying, I want the fighting to stop. I want to stop seeing these guys going down the hard way because numbers that they say conservatively may be as high as 1.5 million people might have died in the Ukraine-Russia combat situation going on now. Raises the badassery. Yeah, raises the badassery. Scrolly. So there's a state attorney general that's now setting the stage to have all Biden pardons, take executive orders, and other actions legally voided. This will be a monumental event in U.S. history, the overturning of potentially an entire presidency. So it's coming in from westernjournal.com. Let me pop open another window here. I believe he's the AG in Missouri. So Missouri's attorney general wants to know what former President Joe Biden didn't know and for how long he didn't know it. Oh, snap. Yeah, that's owie. And the thing about it is if these guys were using the auto pen when he didn't have full authority, those are null and void. I also find it very, very interesting, the Democrats are screaming, crying, bemoaning the fact that Doge is so bloody damn effective. However, they've been doing polls, and Elon Musk's poll shows that 81% of people support the Doge team in their efforts to show some transparency and fix the federal government. This is an older article. They actually have landed now, but those guys that got stuck up in the ISS are currently back home. Now, the thing about it is, and this is something most people don't remember or don't even think about in zero gravity, is every month that you're in orbit, you're losing 1% of bone density. Your muscles are atrophying because you're not constantly moving under and fighting gravity. You're basically just kind of floating there. There's microgravity. So if you look at the videos of like those guys on the ISS, they put something in front of them and it kind of sits there, but after a while it starts kind of moving away because there is still some gravity, even 60, 200 miles, whatever it is up. I think the ISS is like 200 miles up. There is still gravity. However, it's not enough to make you go, and basically hit the ground at 32 feet per second squared, for you just usual standard Earth gravity of 1 G-force. They have microgravity. And there was a good demonstration one of the guys did was he literally parked himself in an open area of the ISS and was just there. And then it's like nothing was interacting on him and he was stuck. He was like flailing around, trying to make something have happen. He was like, moving around, flailing around, trying to do something. Nothing have happened until he finally did something that got him moving enough that he could actually grab a hold of a rail or something. So that is also one of those things people don't tend to think about is if you're in the middle of an open area and there's zero gravity, you're stuck. There's nothing moving you around. Kevin Hurley, appreciate you hanging out with me tonight, dude. I think one of those things that they maybe could have done, and I don't know if they actually even tried it, is take a deep breath and blow. It's not a lot of thrust, but it's some thrust. So I don't know if they even tried to experiment on that one. That was something I was wondering if they even thought about doing. But yeah, the guy literally was just hanging out in the middle of nowhere. No action, no nothing, and he was just there. Scrolly. Oh, things are getting interesting on Adam Schiff. Yeah, the Schiff head himself might have some problems. So GOP Representative Anna Polina Luna has entered the round of $32 million Adam Schiff misappropriated during the Russian collusion hoax. This might come back and smack him on the head. Dude, he's not drinking. He's not drinking. Okay, that's maybe a little bit better, but no, he's not doing good. Okay, it's not going to be something that he's really truly going to enjoy when they go, "Hey, buddy, where's that $32 million that you misappropriated?" Sound good. He's not going to be able to say,
"Blow it out your ass."
No, he's just going to get. Okay, I think ED209 maybe was going a little bit overboard there, all right? So, all right, this, okay, this douchebag, he's probably looking at misappropriation of funds, which even as somebody in Congress or Senate is something you just don't walk off. That just does not go away easy, okay? He might have some problems with that one. I don't know if you guys saw this picture. It's in my Facebook, and it's absolutely blanking hilarious. But supposedly the Denver Antifa guys, let me see if I can't grab that image. Image address. See if I can't throw it in the room. If you guys see this, I guarantee you'll be laughing your butts off because it is it might not do that. No, I don't think it'll let me. It might not let me, unfortunately. Dang. Kevin Hurley in the room. Question: how much do you really think we are getting back for the Doge findings? Tax was. I'm going to tell you the truth. I know Trump's floated that out there, going, "Yeah, we're going to be getting this tax break. You'll be getting $5,000." Dude, I don't want the 5K. Okay, 5K is not going to make or break me. It's not going to change my world. Put that money in and knock down the debt. Okay. You get 330 some odd million people versus 3,000, 5,000. Let's just do the math here real fast, okay? Let's just keep this thing real simple, stupid, and honest. Let's just make this interesting here, okay? So 330,000,000. Okay, so it's 3 to 30 million people, right? Times 5,000. Okay, that is $1,650,000,000,000 So $1.65 trillion. Dude, use that to knock down the debt. All right? I don't need 5K. If it's going to basically screw me for looking at the finances of the United States being hosed for another 30 to 40 years, no, don't want it. Take that money, reinvest it by knocking down the federal debt. Yeah, 5K looks better in my bank account than not. Yeah, but the thing about it is say they give you the 5K. What's that going to do to your tax return? Is that going to put you in another tax bracket? Is this going to be, oh, well, this is now free and clear money you're going to get taxed on? Knowing the Democrats, they're going to put a poison pill in there to go, oh, no, you're getting $5,000, but we want $3,800 of it back. That's how the federal government works. They basically show you the puppy, and they don't show you the puppy has a big pile of dookie with the puppy. They don't tell you about that part. They simply go, here's the puppy. Isn't it cute? Yeah, the puppy's so nice. Don't you just like the puppy? The puppy's great. Yeah, here's the puppy. Here's the puppy. Oh, wait, what? Oh. Yep, the puppy's sick. Yep. Yep, the puppy is sick. Oh, you got to send some of that puppy stuff back. Yeah. So anyway, that's the side of the federal government that we'll truly bemoan the fact of is they give in one hand and take away from the other. And anytime they give you something that you think is going to be good,
Fatality.
it sucks. It sucks. So let me see. Scroll, go back over to Facebook real quick. Yeah, I unfortunately I cannot show you that. Well, maybe I can. I cannot do it justice, though. It's absolutely flippin' hilarious. It's the Denver Antifa guys saying, we went into the mountains and we trained on how to punch. You went into the mountains to train on how to punch. I cannot begin to tell you just how petty, pitiful, and whiny that sounds. But yeah, that's what those guys. Yeah, okay, maybe I can show it to you guys. Let me give me 2 seconds. Though. I want to do one thing real fast because unfortunately, most people don't do this on their channel, but I kind of try to do this. I'm gonna have to remove like one of their obnoxious little hashtags because it's F Chuck. Hang on a second here. Let me fix that here. F Chuck Trump. Okay, so let me see if I can't make that one work real fast. Go over here. Go over here. Go over here. Yeah, hopefully you guys can see this. Let me drop this down. But I cannot begin to do this justice. But yeah, the screaming Mimiite Antifa guys. So it is Denver Antifa. A few of us went to the mountains to train this afternoon. We'll be ready to punch any Nazi that stands in our way. Here we are unmasked. What are you going to do now? Punch Nazis. Hashtag F Chuck Trump. Hashtag fight racism or fight fascism. Hashtag resist. These guys really, I don't think that they could scare a baby deer. I really don't, man. They're just not, and that's being polite. They are just not, and that's being very polite. They are just not, and that's about as nice as I can say it. They are just not. Scroll. Scroll. Oh, okay. Also on the what was it? The St. Patty's Day. So literally, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I guess it was yesterday. So St. Patty's Day, Mrs. Dude and I met for the very, very first time 24 years ago. Basically our very first date. So we jokingly say we went out to get Mexican food on St. Patty's Day. So yeah, that's kind of our anniversary of starting out. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not, but this one is absolutely blatantly blanket idiocy of the way people are raising their kids nowadays. So, person was seated at a window seat. They got on the plane. A kid was sitting in that seat. It's like, excuse me, that's my seat. That is my assigned seat. I need to sit there, please. And then the mother is basically like, oh, that's all wrong. You shouldn't be taking my kid out of the seat. And then the kid started screaming and crying on, carrying on because, he wanted the window seat. It's like, lady, you probably should have booked the window seat if you wanted your kid to have the window seat. Those are assigned seats that basically tell people who you are in case of incident. It gives identity, and it is exactly how you're supposed to be seated. Not trading seats back and forth with everybody. Unfortunately, sorry, not going to make your little butthole kid happy because you're being a butthole parent. So nobody is obligated to do things for your kids. Now, the thing about it is they literally made this chick's life just miserable, and now she is suing the airlines, and then she's suing the chick that started all this crap off, and probably suing the guy that was shooting the video going, you should just give him the seat. You're being mean. Yeah. Trying to make this chick knuckle under because somebody can't control their child. That's just wrong. Scrolly. Carolyn Levitt, man. This girl's just fun, man. She's press secretary now. She is just fun. And she did a X post, read formerly Twitter, and said, if the Democrats want to argue in favor of turning a plane full of rapists, murderers, and gangsters back to the United States, that's a fight we are more than happy to take. I think that judge might be in a little bit of trouble. It's getting out now that he potentially may be impeached. The other thing I thought was hilarious was supposedly the plane was pretty much already like over international waters, and the judge is like, well, I can't do Thor's hammer. I'm not going to do Thor's hammer, but bang, Thor's hammer. Oh, you better turn that plane around right now and get these people back to the United States. And it's like, dude, it's over international waters. You have no jurisdiction. Yeah, suck it. Kevin, appreciate it, man. Catch you later. Have a good one. And so anyway, that guy basically got blown off, and he might now be getting impeached for superseding his authority by trying to usurp the presidency, which is also one of those legs of the triangle, beating executive, legislative, and judicial. It was like judicial, executive, and legislative. That's what it is. So those three, basically, Congress, Senate, courts, and of course the presidency. Those three legs, dude, you are equal. As a matter of fact, he actually supersedes your authority in some aspects. When it comes down to him declaring an emergency and claiming that situations are with a terrorist type of setup, you have no authority over his statements and duty to do things. Scrolly. Representative Eli Crane announces he'll back legislation in the House this week to impeach Judge James Boasberg, who obstructed the Trump administration by trying to basically keep the things from flying over and putting those guys back where they should be. Scrolly. Basically, we talked about it, stranded astronauts, all the good stuff like that there. So I think we're basically going to call this one a win.
Fatality.
No, sound guy, stop. Sound guy. No. Dude, relax. Okay, I think we are now at the point where we actually did a successful podcast, even though I did do it strangely enough on a smartphone, not a home computer, not a laptop, but a smartphone. I guess I'll take it, man. It worked. It worked, okay? I'll take it. It worked. Anyway, so good stuff like that there. No, he and I are talking later, okay? That's all there is to it. Anyway, good stuff like that there. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know you got many other things to do. You hung out with me on Tuesday. So many strangeness going on. I actually did have some weird stuff going on previously. Even just trying to get on and do the podcast. Ugh, so annoying. Anyway, appreciate your kind attention. Catch you guys later. Have a good week. I will see you next time. Eat good, keep tendering as always. You know you love it. I will see you next time. Hopefully things work on that regard. Catch you guys later. Have a good one. See you guys. Oh, where's the button?